standards. That's why I don't give into things that I don't want to do. Gotta retain my sanity, whatever is left of it. It's pretty difficult in America, or what I like to call amerihahahaha. Everything's a joke. Can't you tell? Can't you smell all this shit? Can't you smell all this shit? Am I the only one that has smelled it since the early 90s? Maybe I've just paid attention. Nobody told me to do that. I just did it on my own volition. How do you like that, like that, like that? I wasn't radicalized on Reddit. No, I haven't read it. Whatever you want me to read. I just know this stuff because I think about it. And I do go on the website, what's the name of it? The Center for Biotechnology Information, something like that. That site is very useful. It talks about all kinds of stuff that they're doing to us. And it's totally out in the open, too. I'm pretty sure it's like a government website. What's funny is how much they let it all hang out. Yet all these fucking pansies want to complain about censorship. Everything's there if you're eager to look for it. It's just the most ain't got the time or the interest. It's kind of like a woman not being interested in shit like aerospace, you know? A lot of women don't want to do that. They don't want to go into engineering. And it's not because of sexism, it's because of a lack of interest. Now, some women might want to do this, but they're few and far between, and these stereotypes are pretty accurate. You can generalize, and that's fine. Just don't discriminate, alright? I don't discriminate. Unless you're just somebody that I don't like. You give me a vibe that says you're gonna kill me or judge me harshly, and I don't deserve that shit because I know your judgment ain't righteous, bitch. Anyway. People get so haughty about haughtiness. Even though most of the time I digress. Cause I know you're not listening to the right thing. I know you don't care about being holy and shit, yeah. I know you don't care. Cause you live in darkness. And you pretend to like this. It always amazes me how people train themselves to believe anything that they wanna believe. And you'd call me delusional. I think that you're illusional. I'd rather live in my own world of my own making than just do what I'm told by the people that sold me out to those look at my soul like it's one for the taking. Yeah, it's one for the taking. Most people have a soul that they I was gonna say it's a soul that I was trying to use the word faking, and then I was like, I can't come up with it in time, and I fucking hate that when I'm like on a roll and then I fuck it up because I can't come up with a word in time, and I'm like, well, you're not perfect, Amy. Anyway, you're not perfect. It's okay. But yeah, a lot of these people, they're fake. They're really fake. So it's like, do they have a soul? Did they ever have a soul? But that's not a very Christian sentiment. It really ain't. I'd like to believe when they were born, they had a spirit, and then that very spirit was scorned. Probably by the public school system or by their helicopter parents. Anytime you're interesting, or God forbid, decently funny, in a way that they can't control, they're gonna do whatever they can to steal it, shame you for it. That's what they do. Because you're a threat. You're a threat. Because you're different. Don't tell me that they want different, or they like different, or they appreciate different. They just mean different, like, you're gonna cut your dick off. So if you do this totally politically correct thing that they're pushing from every possible angle, if you just do the politically correct thing, you don't question anything. Yeah, you're so different, man. You're so different. Like all these motherfuckers talking about identity. They're so boring. They're so boring. They're so boring. Anytime you talk about race or sexual orientation, you're just letting me know that you're not interesting. Okay, that's what it means. I'm gonna capitalize on this one thing about me, because I can't see anything else. That's really sad when you think about it. It's like all you'll ever be is polyamorous. All you'll ever be is bipolar. All you'll ever be is schizoaffective. All you'll ever be is black. All you'll ever be is a pretend victim. All you'll ever be is a pretend victim. All you'll ever be is a pretend victim. You'll never be the one that will never get talked about on the TV. You'll never be this damsel in distress, but you can't much help it. That every time you think about this sort of caricature, you get excited. Anything, maybe they'll pay attention, maybe they'll validate me, maybe they'll make me feel better about myself than I've been feeling my entire life, and I'll finally be complete. That's what they're thinking every time they send a hashtag. That's what they're thinking every time they take a selfie. That's what they're thinking every time they do some stupid social media post where they tell you more than you'd ever want to know. And yet they still don't hear themselves talk. I genuinely feel sorry for these motherfuckers. I really do. And they've sucked out an entire generation. That's why I call it progressive abortion. 'Cause their brain got sucked out. Yeah, their brain got sucked out. Social media does a far better job than Planned Parenthood or that abortion clinic near you. So if you're a really shitty parent, which I'm assuming is most of you in amerihahahaha, what has the TV done for you? Made you stupid, made you negligent, made you not give a fuck about anything other than the next distraction. But yeah, shitty parents out there, if you wish you'd had an abortion, good thing, Steve Jobs has got you covered. Now, if you just give your kids a government tracking device, you can pretend that the reason you gave it to them is so you could keep up with them, but really you're too busy scrolling on Instagram to give a fuck about what they're looking up on Instagram. So this is the state we're in. I swear it's the seventh circle. If I seem really judgmental, you're right. I hate what you do, and I'm not going to lie about it because I'm not a liar. That's why I always thought I was a man. Because women lie straight through their teeth, and they think that nobody knows. Who's noticing? Who's noticing? Don't worry, it'll just be people that no one will listen to. Cause I can't be believed. I can't be believed. Cause I'm just too crazy. I really don't give a fuck about optics, which is kind of dumb. It's very anti-American, but what is it? About me, anyway. I just hate materialism, and I hate this obsession with physical appearance as if that's the only thing that matters. I mean, it matters somewhat, physiognomy and stuff, but there's more to everything than what you see on the surface, and that's the problem. People are way too focused on what they see in front of them and not what's behind the scenes. So what they see on the TV and what's written in the newspaper, remember back in the day we had newspapers, what they see in some news article. Now I'll read the fake news just for fun. I do that for fun. I used to get pissed off about it, but now I just laugh. But a lot of time, the headline will be totally different than what the article's about. So they're trusting that people aren't even reading the articles. They're just reading the headlines and freaking out about the headlines. And they're probably right to assume that. It doesn't frustrate me that they do what they do to society. It frustrates me that society takes the bait. Every day, all day, they take the bait. They take the bait, they take the bait. And that's why they poison you. That's why they lie to you. Because you won't question their authority, that ain't up for debate. And anyone like me, we're egotistical because we ask questions, right? I mean, I'm not going to say that I've never been egotistical about anything, okay? I'm not going to act like there's no arrogant bone in my body because I know how I sound. I know how I come across. But I do have confidence that I'm right about the world being a lie and everyone being full of shit. And for the most part, like, people really don't care. And that's why they do everything that they do to us. It's because they can trust that the majority is just retarded. They're not conscious. And yeah, they've been made this way through a series of events. And all this political stuff that's going on right now that seems so extreme, it's literally because, like, they've allowed all these other things to happen so they could do this. You know how, like, all these Republicans were bitching about, like, all the illegals being allowed to just do whatever they want here, and they can cross the border illegally and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, so they could eventually be sent home by some dictator. You know, like, that. Everything is a means to, like, push something else. That's how I look at all these political things. Like, every single time something happens, I'm like, what's really happening? And what is the purpose of this happening? You know, because people love to make assumptions about stuff, but everything that happens, I'm always thinking about either the past or the future. I'm never thinking about right now, and I think that's what makes me such an un-American person. Because, like, Americans are so obsessed with whatever they think is happening. You know, whatever is on the TV, whatever the radio broadcast is talking about. Occasionally I'll listen to NPR when I feel like committing suicide. I listen to NPR, and it's just so funny that people take this shit seriously. But I guess, yeah, you gotta be fucking schizo. You gotta be schizo in order to see it. And so how convenient is it that people could just label me crazy, and then they can keep going on believing the same stupid crap that has done nothing positive for them their entire life. It's just lied to them and poisoned them and played them for a fool, which they are. They've proven that they're a fool over and over and over again on repeat. But some of them, whenever they wake up, if they wake up, they're mad about it. They're mad. They're mad because all the stuff that they've been trained to believe and never questioned is a lie. I think that you're actually mad at yourself. You don't know how to admit that shit, because you're a boring person that obviously doesn't believe in going to therapy or working a 12-step program or reading a self-help book or any of the things that I've done. But I've done a lot of that. All that I just mentioned, I've done a lot of it, okay? No matter what this seems. But, yeah, at some point, it's like all that stuff is useless. Because, like, you're just rehashing the same shit, you know? Like, even my therapist said that to me. He's like, why are you here? You already know. They said the same thing to me in a psych ward. They're like, you know what's going on. You don't need this shit. You're right. I just came here to gloat. Just came here to gloat, that's all. Oh, that was bad. Damn it! When your therapist apologizes, you know that you've won. When your therapist kicks you out, you know that you've won. You know that you've won. When your psychiatrist wishes you the best of luck, you know that you've won. You know that you've won. I don't need anything from anyone. We're very lucky to know exactly where we're coming from. We're very lucky to have good memory, considering this age that has been thrusted upon everyone. But you guys just went along with it, didn't you? Well, I didn't, son. I didn't. I still have a flip phone, so y'all can kiss my ass. I can talk so much trash because of that one decision that I really thought about. I thought it through. Did you? No, you didn't. You don't think anything through. And here's the thing. I used to not think things through. I used to be a raging alcoholic. I understand. But I actually got something out of that. I figured things out about myself that weren't very good. You know, I was thinking that the reason why psychiatric drugs are so bad is because they awaken your shadow self, but you don't know what it is, which is why many people, they can't stand it, which is why they choose to end it. Suicide. Unalive. They choose to unalive themselves with the help of Zoloft. Okay? So if you're just not committed to doing something totally destructive, just get on an antidepressant. And that'll give you some initiative, you know? It's not a joke. I wish it was a joke. But I'm alive now. I live to tell you that I totally broke myself. But I'm glad that I did. I'm really glad that I did. make a mistake. Most people don't have the luxury of looking back and being glad that you did all the crazy shit that you did. I got a lot of jokes. That's how you gotta look at it. Just flip it. And I'm not gaslighting myself anymore, so I can excuse acting like a whore. Just to get what I want, just to get what I want. Vodka and more vodka. And not even good vodka. They fucking taka. Well, I was thinking about the presidents. I was thinking about these politicians. Y'all remind me of my glory, gory days of alcoholism. You tell yourself this time will be different, different. You tell yourself this time I won't black out, black out. You tell yourself a bunch of shit so you can excuse doing the same old shit. So it's the same experience every time, though. Well, if it's different, it's just a worse experience, right? I've heard it described really well by some crusty old-timers in AA meeting that I used to attend, that alcoholism and addiction is like an elevator that only goes down, and that seems to be America, or amerihahahaha, if you would prefer, and I prefer, because it's been this way for a while now, and now it's too obvious to ignore, but people will still attempt to ignore it, and they'll still pour all of their hope and all of their faith into some piece of shit politician that rapes children, but that's something that we dare not say. So, it's like you're choosing between Taka and Taka and Taka and Taka, or what's a shitty whiskey? LTD. Last $2, right? I used to buy that because it was real cheap. That's why we called it last $2. And then I'd steal like a $50 bottle of Jaeger. Wouldn't even remember drinking it. Memories! At least my past life was far more interesting and rewarding because I can sing you this amazing song and I can help people get along. I can help people move on from something terrible that's not doing anything the slightest bit beneficial for them. But if only I could get you to stop voting.